Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 4 of Couch to Clutch. Tomorrow I have a race. It's in Bangalore, so I'm driving to Bangalore early morning and with my car and my bike inside the car. And it's going to be a fun race. Looking forward to it. It's 50 kilometers amateur road race. And I don't think I have told anyone about the bike yet. The bike is a Specialized LA. I bought it for 40K second hand from Bike Affair in Hyderabad. I was lucky enough to get a second hand of my size. Usually, the bike size is the most important thing to do when you are going for a bike. You're going to buy a bike because it has to fit your size, and the size is usually the inseam size that you have from your uh, under your hips, basically. So wherever you sit on your glutes, from there to the bottom of your foot, that's the length you're looking for. That's the length, and then you get the size accordingly. And of course, it's minor adjustments were required around the position of the bike as well, the hand position. So the narrower it is, the more unstable it will get, but it will be very aerodynamic. And I'll come to the equation later that we talked about last week that I'm going to show you a cycling race performance equation. So in that really helps in aerodynamics in different ways. There are different bikes like time trial bikes where the aerodynamics is really good because of the hand position. But I'm talking about Merc style road bikes here. So those bikes usually have a little bit wider handlebars for you to have a very comfortable ergonomic position of riding a bicycle. There are usually two types of bikes, to be very frank. They're like one is the road bike, one is the MTB. Now, every other bike is a modification of that. So a hybrid bike is usually in between the two. A TT bike or a time trial bike is the more aggressive version of the road bike. In road bikes as well, there are different categories like cross bike, which is like cross. Uh, it is for dirt and tarmac. And then you have in tarmac two types. One is endurance, which is a little bit relaxed in the angle that you sit and get a little comfortable for very long rides. There are cross country bikes as well, which is even more comfortable than the endurance versions. And then there are race bikes like the aero bikes. And then there are GC bikes as well, like general classification bikes, which are very light and very aerodynamic. Usually Tadej Pogacar, who is like the Tour de France winner, current winner, uh, are, because he is number one in the general classification. Usually those bikes are called GC, general classification bikes. So that Specialized LA is a very entry level bike, which is an aluminum frame. It's not a carbon frame, and usually costs around a lakh these days. But this was back in 2018 when the bike was bought by someone, and then it got sold to me for 40,000 rupees in 2022, second hand. And it came with a very basic group set, which was Shimano Claris and uh, s- and a really nice seat saddle, basically. But I didn't really like the saddle because I used to get, usually it's the problem for every cyclist that their saddle choice keeps, they have to experiment with a few saddles before they settle for one, because your bottom source are like real thing, and that's an uncontrollable, that's something you can't do much about. So you have to get a saddle that really fits your butt. And what fit my preference was the Brooks leather saddle. It's a little bit heavier for a race bike, but I prefer that because it takes the shape eventually of your bottom portion. And it has been taking shape for more than a year now. Uh, it's a it's a leather saddle, so it kind of is a little bit malleable, but it's not that malleable that it would bounce. It's stiff, but it does take shape the longer you ride it, more than 1,000 kilometers usually. So I changed that. I changed the group set to I upgraded to 105 group set. It cost me a lot. Then I did want to go to endurance ride, so I changed the wheel sets to endurance, Lapwing endurance wheels, along with Rollsy hubs. The Rollsy hubs are really good. They sound really good. It looks like someone in a race car is coming. It's like churr like that. So it's pretty good. And then you have the power meter that I installed for power figures, Magene power meter, along with the Coros Dura uh, bike computer. So this is the one, Coros Dura. It's pretty good because it runs on solar and it never runs out of battery because it's always charging. I hardly charged it like 3 to 4 times in the last 1 year, actually. And so it's pretty good, pretty robust as well. So these were the changes that I made, and it cost me another 1.6 lakhs. So the bike actually is now worth 2 lakhs. Um, but the best bikes are those bikes, I would say, that you buy and then modify to your needs, and then ride some and modify some more. And eventually it becomes a DIY bike. So only thing that's remaining in my bike right now is just the frame. Everything else is even the handlebars have changed because it was too wide for my shoulders, and you have to be like this. Yeah, very parallel, you know, parallel like that on your bike. You have to be comfortable, and you have to be your shoulder width should match the position where your uh, hands are going to be on the hoods. So so yeah, a lot of changes, and now I feel ready to ride with the front peloton. I'll try to chase them tomorrow. No, day after tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm traveling to Bangalore, and we'll have to get the bib first from the expo, and then we'll go from there. Anyway, I think time to show you the data for the last week. So here it is. It's the data from last week. Oh, before that, I think you can see on the left side there is a lot of goals. HCL Cyclothon Bangalore 50 kilometer, 8th of Feb. Then I have a club run half marathon on 15th of Feb. And 1st March, I have a run for a girl child 10 kilometers. I just want to see my 10K pace, running pace. Not expecting it to be too much. Um, Best bet would be 65 minutes, 65 minutes. 30th August, there is a Hyderabad marathon. It's a pretty big one, so I'll run a half marathon there as well. I don't want to go full marathon yet because that is a different kind of a training regime, and these half marathons are like priority B for me. Priority A is always the cycle races. So HCL Cyclothon Chennai most probably will be on September 20th this year. I'm going to participate in the 50 kilometers as well in that. And then comes the big one, the home turf. And I have a podium. I have a goal of a podium finish on this. We'll see where my fitness is by Chennai. And then I'll have a better measure of my opponents as well. So I'll know if I can finish in the podium or just try to hang out with the front peloton. So November 8th, most probably. And then next year, TMM, HM as well. And then repeat Bangalore, Delhi, those places. Delhi, I'm not going this year, but next year probably I'll go there. So last week, it was a 15.5 kilometers aerobic pace run. This run went pretty well. Um, a lot of TSS, by the way. TSS is training stress score. So, only so much that you can take in a week. So last week I took a little bit of beating with all these overperformance. So I did a lot of strength training. So it was supposed to be 15 minutes, but I did like 26, 31, 18, like that. All the bike. The 1919 intervals didn't go well because I was a little, the fatigue was a little too much from the last week, I think, from the week before that. So I took it a little slow on the anaerobic intervals as well. I did not do the anaerobic interval, but I did want to show up. For the interval, I just did a zone 2 ride, a recovery ride, zone 1, zone 2, basically. So as you can see from the analysis, it was a very relaxed ride. It was mostly in recovery. So yeah, that uh, you can do sometimes when you're feeling tired, but you still want to go out and do a ride or a run. Take it a little slow. Intensity can change, but your consistency should not. And complete the time box, no matter what. Yeah, that rhymes. Wow. Intensity can change, consistency cannot. Complete your time box, no matter what. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, sometimes when you are really compliant, 90% compliant, you can be 10% human as well. You can make those errors and you can take some liberties as well. So I took the liberty today in the cadence drills. I did not complete the complete uh, time box because I just wanted to taper a little bit more for the big one. And as you can see tomorrow, there is nothing because, of course, before the race, you want to be in best form usually. Uh, there's a lot of fatigue that usually gets built up when you're training hard. 1 or 2 days before the race, you should just chill, eat a little bit of a carb to carb load your muscles, take rest, take a massage session if possible, recover from all those training sessions, and then you'll be in the best form on the race day. So that's what I did this time. Anaerobic intervals, I did not do all 10. I did like I think 8 of them. I think we can see from the data here. So yeah, that's one spike, two spike, three spike, four spike, five, six, seven, eight. That's right, 8 intervals, right? And aerobic run went pretty well, I think. So Neil wanted to me to do 8:15. I did the 7:58. I did have a partner with me to run, Mr. Sham Prakash, and he's a pretty good runner. So yeah, I did not run at his pace. I ran at my pace, but his pace and my pace are kind of the same. He's a little bit faster, but he kind of slows down for me. He's a very humble, genuine, and respectful person. So yeah, love him. Um, and then Hill Repeats was on Tuesday. It was a brutal one. It was Neopolis climb, and the climbs were pretty good. So I did climb for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So 8 times I did climb the hill and then come back and then rinse and repeat. 1990 intervals. I did this in Durgam Cheruvu. I was pretty tired, so I couldn't complete the entire ones, but I did stick to like I think I did 7 of the 10 intervals that were required. At the eighth interval, I was like, falling down of my pace, which is required to be at least what is the pace required? Uh, the pace required was 512. Was it 512? Yes, 512. So I was not able to hold on to that pace for 90 seconds. So I was like, okay, done for the day, probably because of, yeah, before that I did the hill repeat, so it became even more difficult for the day. I'll try and do both together next week. Yeah, next week, but yeah, wasn't able to do it completely. So that's the week. Not very hard, but after that, because this week I have this race, there is no mixed intervals. Mixed intervals is usually the hard one for bike. It's uh, it's 4 repeats of zone 3, 20 minutes, which is kind of threshold, um, tempo threshold, and then 12 repeats of zone 4 and zone 5. So this is a hard one. Um, so it comes up next week. And next week I do have the club run as well. And Sunil, I have seen he's already ready with the plan and he thinks I can do it in 2:57. I'm gonna beat that this time. Yeah, because it's Hyderabad and it's not humid. So yeah, the plan is to do 2:40. Let's see if I can do that. But before that, first things first, this one, big one, 50 kilometers Bengaluru. Let's go. And I think Sandeep Sharma from Delhi, he's the reigning winner from Hyderabad. He'll be coming. Malay Nirav will be coming. My friend Namalai. And let's see if I can stick to those two guys on the wheels of those two guys. All right, now it's the time for me to show you the equation that I promised. Here it is. Cycling race performance is equal to, and it's directly proportional to, your VO2 max, which is the maximum oxygen uptake that your body can use in a minute. Simple as that. Power to weight ratio, the power that you produce in an hour divided by your weight, actually the system weight, which is your weight plus the bike weight. That is the power to weight ratio. So as you can see, your weight matters much more than the bike's weight. If the bike's weight is 1 or 2 kilos here and there, doesn't really matter. But your weight matters because if it's 5 to 10 kilos here and there, the power to weight ratio is not going to be as great, right? So before you change your bike, change yourself. And anaerobic sprint capacity. Now this is like 15-second, 30-second sprint capacity. This um is the fast twitch muscle of your thighs, mostly in your quadriceps, your glutes, and your hamstrings. Those fast twitch muscles are a different kind of muscles. They're not the same as the slow twitch ones, which are responsible for your aerobic power. Your anaerobic power is different. So you have to train that as well, specifically. I'll give a complete rundown next week of the entire equation, what protocols, and what are the parameters that affect this. But this time around, I'm just gonna give the equation. Anaerobic sprint capacity, that's directly proportional to your race performance as well, because usually that's the finish right there, or the start or the finish, or some surges in between. And if you can recover from those surges or not, that also sometimes becomes important in races because there might be multiple surges and you have to respond to some of those. Then comes efficiency. Um, Basically, your capillary or your mitochondria efficiency. So with even lower power, some people can have much better efficiency. And efficiency is not just that, efficiency is also your bike fit, how you're positioned on your bike, those things as well. Because without the bike fit, I think efficiency is going to be a problem. Uh, Tactics, that is racecraft. Tactics plays a huge role in bike races, at least because it's not very straightforward as running. It has a lot of cornering to do, um, a lot of wheels to follow, and if you fall behind some of the wheels, uh, if you get dropped, then it gets difficult. So, some people might block you. So there's a lot of racecraft involved as well in bike races. Psychology, um, how you take the race. I'll give you an example. So I was racing in a individual time trial, mm, and it went pretty well because I was on my own uh, a year back, I would say. Because I was on my own, I knew what to do. There was no one to compete with. It was just me, and I had to just maintain a pace of wattage of 200 watts, and that's about it. Keep up the cadence, and that's it. But then came another race, and it was a handicap race. I was an amateur, and they were first time amateur, and they were seasoned amateurs, and then there were pros. So every group would start 12 minutes after the first. So we went first, and I went with a 18-year-old kid, and it was a uh, three lap race. We started really well, and I started to follow on his wheel, and I was pretty comfortable at zone two, zone three. Uh, he was pulling me, and I was on his back, following him. I was having a really good time. And he was slowing down a little bit as well because he was probably getting a little tired. And then I thought these seasoned amateurs might catch us. So when I came up on the hill of where the race actually ends, the end of the second lap, so we had another lap to go, and it was a little bit of a downhill. I thought that because of my weight advantage, I would be able to, uh, you know, gain much more speed downhill, and if I can push the power, then I might be able to drop him because I wanted to win. I could see that I could win if these guys can catch me from the back. But I think that's where I made a big mistake because it was too early to surge like that, and I didn't have the fitness to do it. So that guy kept himself behind me. He was on my wheel. I couldn't drop him, and both of us got tired because of this little stint that I played. And then I saw the three amateurs, the seasoned amateurs, cross me, cross us actually, just before the U-turn, the last U-turn. So we had just half lap left, around 8.5 kilometers. So it was a 51-kilometer race. So 8.5 kilometers left. And just before the U-turn, they caught us and we tried to stay on their wheel. So we started to surge and take the position on their wheel. We did that. And because by then I was very tired and I was a little bit disappointed as well because I thought that, there is no way that we can sprint finish with these guys and win. So after the U-turn, there was a little bit of a steep climb. And because their cadence was good, and I was a little bit disappointed and a little unfocused at that time, my cadence dropped a lot, and they were able to drop me. right there, and they went. And it was a half lap of pure struggle and disappointment and everything. And I went back and I thought, this was not about the fitness. This had nothing to do with VO2 max, weight, power to weight, any of that. Maybe if those things were much, much better, I would have overcome this. But this was pure psychology. Why would you surge in the middle of a race like that when you know you don't have the fitness for it? That's number one. Number two is, when you're following a process, just follow it. Don't think about the outcome. The moment I thought that here goes my podium was the moment I lost the game right there. So think about the process. Whatever the process brings, whatever, it's fine. But the moment you stress yourself that I have to win, you're gonna get disappointed. So that day and days later, there will other inspiration from other places as well. I think uh, I understood that psychology plays a big part. The higher you go, the higher the psychology plays a bigger part. The mindset plays a bigger part. If you win, if you lose, if you are in the long run or not, a lot of people, a lot of talented people who just burn out and give up. And the legends are only the ones who stick long enough in the game. So psychology plays a bigger part when you go higher and higher, because at that level, talent, everyone has talent at that level. It's just that mindset that sets you apart. So that's directly proportional, all those factors on your race performance. And what is inversely proportional is aerodynamic drag. So there is a drag coefficient. Uh, It's just a scientific term for how horizontal you can get on a bike. So the more horizontal you are, the more aggressive your position, the less the drag. Simple as that. And the less the cross section of your shoulders, the more you can shrink yourself and stay in that position for longer, the better it is. That needs a lot of flexibility, by the way. And that's why not just aerobic exercises, flexibility and strength and conditioning, these are important because your core has to be really strong if you have to get horizontal, right? You have to stay in that plank position for a very, very long time if you have to hold that position. So a lot of things, but these are like these come later. I would say take one thing at a time. Take the VO2 max and power to weight ratio at a time. I've started taking those two things at a time. Just do those two better. Forget about the rest. Those can come later, but focus those two first. Get good at it. Then go to the next one, aerobic capacity. Go to efficiency. Go to racecraft, like that. Aerodynamic drag in the beginning, don't worry too much about it. It is only for the top racers, I would say, when they go really, really fast, like more than 30, 35 kilometers, 40 kilometers, 45, 50. At 50 kilometers, aerodynamics is everything. So at that speed, you have to be very, very flexible. Then rolling resistance, it does not depend on you. So in all of these factors that are directly or indirectly proportional to your race performance, that one, rolling resistance, is the one thing that is not dependent on you. It's dependent on the bike and then the contact surface of the bike, basically the tires. So better tires, better wheels, better bike with a aerodynamic drag as well, a little bit on the bike, because the more aero the position of the bike, the better it is. But aerodynamic drag is mostly the rider more than the bike. Rolling resistance is all the bike, nothing else. A little bit of your weight as well, because the lower or higher your weight, it does affect the rolling resistance. Uh, So apart from that, you apart from the weight and the bike itself, it has nothing to do with you. Rolling resistance does not play a big role when you're having big gains. When you have to gain small gains, only then it plays a big role. And then fatigue. Fatigue has the most role to play because fatigue resistance is everything. If you have done a surge, an anaerobic effort, and after that you're fatigued and you do not have the repeatability, uh, that is where it sets you apart from the professionals. The professionals are really good at fatigue resistance, while we are not. We are not good at recovery. So recovery is impacted by a hell lot of factors outside of your training as well, like sleep, like emotional support. I would say the most important thing is not this equation. The most important thing is support from your peer group, from your family. Are they going to support your diet? Are they going to support your morning routine? Are they going to support your not going to parties? Are they going to support the weird times you come back home? Support, the most important thing. Without support, I wouldn't be saying all these things. Without my wife's support, basically. So find a partner first who can support you really well. Forget about this equation. Make some money first to get the bike and get the time, the freedom of your time to actually train. Yeah, that is the most, I would say, area of friction for you. And then the support. Get money, get the right relationship, get into the right relationship, and get into the right diet. Because if your body says no, you're not gonna do any of this. So yeah, support is the support and environment. These are much more important than what you see on this equation right here. So I'll speak more about this next week. Really have to go and sleep right now because it's 9 p.m. and I have to get up at 3:30 and drive to Bangalore. Bye bye. See you next week. I'm Rajat.